Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Chortle Cast, the official podcast of Chortle Games, where we talk about video games, TV shows, movies, anime, whatever the heck we want to talk about. We have a great. I'm Jake. I'm one of your hosts, and I'm joined, as always,
We have a great
by
Jake for you
the
this
man,
evening.
the myth, the legend. I'm blanking on all sorts of things because I'm focusing on a logo right now.
Good.
He's
It's
the Stream
Steven, by
King.
the
He's
way.
the Far Cry guy. He's
That's
the
it.
man who he's the man who rides the dog into battle. He's Steven. Say hey Steven. There you
I'm
go.
riding a combination of a
Talent.
snake and a squirrel right now, actually.
Here,
His
let
name
me
is
actually
Toby Kadachi.
tell you what. We're getting the gameplay back. I tried. It all fell apart there at the end.
That's me.
There it is. There you
It's,
go. That's
Toby.
Steven.
Toby is his name.
Toby? Like Toby Maguire?
Like Toby Kadachi, because that's what the animal is called.
I think it's more like Toby Maguire, which
It's
could
really
be foreshadowing, unintentional foreshadowing.
You sound like such a Marvel fan right now.
I mean, what can I say? I just to have a quick tangent here about the fact that the No Way Home premiere is happening right now. I'm very nervous. I don't know what to do.
I'm
About
calling it
the
right now.
internet.
I'm calling it right now. Hey, guess what? My name is Steven and I have hot takes. Here's a hot take. It's gonna suck. Honestly, every single clip I've seen of this film looks cringe as hell.
First off, that's a fallacy. All right. It's not going to suck. It's going to be great. The question is, are Toby and Andrew going to be in it? And at this point, if they're not, there will be riots in the street. I'm just saying. Like at a certain point, there was a certain threshold that we crossed where Marvel and Sony should have gotten together and been like, "Look, this has gotten out of hand. It's gotten out of our control. We got to reshoot. We got to throw them in, even if it's just, I don't care if we have to CG Toby Maguire into the thing. We have to make this work somehow, some way." And I will be shocked if they didn't.
I just hope that if that happens, they spare Andrew Garfield because he tried to warn us.
He did. It's the same with Tom. It's like, okay, come on, y'all. They've all tried, but there's no excuse. There's no use trying to hide things from us because, ladies and gentlemen, this is Chortlecast, the official podcast of Chortle Games, where we talk about video games, TV shows, movies, anime, whatever the heck we want to talk about. We got a great show for you tonight. Did I?
You already did that.
I kind of fell apart at the intro. I don't know what happened to me. It was just all fell apart. We got a great show for you tonight. We are going to be discussing the Game Awards. Obviously, lots of awards were given out, so we're going to briefly go over our thoughts on those. But then also lots of game announcements were made at the Game Awards, and we are going to go through all of those and talk a lot about some and very little about others. So it's going to be a great time. Getting lots of chat here. What's up, Vortex? What's up, Jared? What's up, Austin?
Austin, careful. Luke Smith might hear you and he may nerf you.
He may nerf
experience.
You. Actually, Austin, I'm sure you saw for like the first couple seconds. I'm playing Destiny while Steven is playing Monster Hunter Stories. So that I haven't gotten the Galahorn yet. Someone will have to walk me through, help me with that. What's up, Akib? I'm catching up here. So Vortex is saying, does 13th Lord sound like another nickname for Steven? Because of he came in 13th place at in an archery competition.
That implies that the other people are a higher lordship than I, and I don't really like that.
I think it's more like you're lord of the number 13. It's kind of how I read that.
That's a very divisive number. I'm a divisive person. So
yeah, it's possible. And then Jared is saying, first of all, that's a fallacy. Jake, star snake in this house.
But seriously though, like the clips they've shown from this movie are bad.
No.
Like they are. Have you seen the one of the girl who tries to take Spider-Man's mask off? Have you seen that?
No, I haven't seen that.
It's like the beginning of the movie. It was like a clip in a trailer or something. And she's like, "Give me that mask." And he's like, "No." And he like moves away. She goes, "Spider-Man hit me." But it's like, it just looks so cringe.
I'm sure it's going to be rough going from having a mostly respected Spider-Man I say mostly respected.
Has
Like
anyone ever respected Spider-Man in the comic? Like
in the
let's say New York
comics,
hates him.
no. But what I'm saying with Marvel is that we've never had a J. Jonah Jameson in the MCU to mock Spider-Man, I guess you could say. So it will be interesting seeing Tom go under that whatever. But Jeremy's out tonight. Thank you, Akib, for bringing that up. Jeremy's out. He is having an early birthday celebration, so we're letting him have a good time there. But anyway, speaking of good times, let's start. We need to jump in because we have a lot of conversations to have. Starting with, we're going to start with the winners of the Game Awards, and what happened?
There's a clip from American Dad that I sent Austin where one of the characters eats berries that are a superfood, and he goes Hulk and he just goes superfood like for an entire. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. But if you saw it, the way he says it is so funny. And I was at work on Sunday, and Austin just messages me randomly because we use my phone for my camera controls. I randomly just see superfood at the top of my screen because Austin sent it to me, and he nearly got me fired. I'm just kidding. He didn't almost get me fired. It was really funny. So yeah,
I love it. All right, so we're going to quickly go over the winners. Steven, stop me if there's any you'd like to have a conversation about. I'll stop if I have something I want to say. I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm not even going to read the esports stuff. I respect respect you guys in your own thing. Just it's not our thing, so we're just going to keep moving.
I don't respect any of you.
This is like the hedge, but I feel like I should say it at least. Content creator of the year was Dream. So congrats to Dream.
You mean the guy that cheated and lied about a speed run? Isn't that the same guy?
So did that happen or did that not happen? And the reason I ask is because I watched Donkey's video and I can't tell what he's joking about and what he's not.
You just
joking
always
about,
assume that Junkie is joking about
everything. Well, but see, Donkey did a video about how he hates Dream because he did that. But then he did another video like a day later that was like, I'm sorry, I have to make an apology video to Dream because he didn't do it. But then it all messed up. Who misspelled Chortle Games?
They did when they picked content creator of the year as Dream.
Oh, yeah, that's funny. They did misspell it. That's crazy. Best multiplayer was It Takes Two, which
is stupid.
Of all the things this is the only award that I think It Takes Two should have gotten. Yeah, and we'll have more It Takes Two conversations, I'm sure. But that's the only one that I was like, cool, that's fine.
Thing that I do every year.
Oh no. What thing? You do a lot of things every year.
Where are the nominations? Can I pull that up? Because I love to take the wording of the nominees and throw it back in the face of the Game Awards at how they both suck at writing like categories for what, like the description of categories, but also the winners for certain categories almost every single time.
Jared liked watching us play it, if that makes you feel better, Steven.
I mean, I enjoyed playing It Takes Two, but it was a bad game.
Should I keep going, or are you?
Yeah, keep going.
Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't know if I was waiting for you to have some kind of extra commentary in there.
Hold on. Where's multiplayer? Best multiplayer. For outstanding online multiplayer gameplay and design, including co-op and massively multiplayer experiences, irrespective of game genre or platform. Yeah, it's none of those things.
Steven, it absolutely is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It was not an outstanding online multiplayer. It was designed for couch co-op for one. That is the online
I would completely argue against that. I would completely argue against that because they made it where I could buy the game and then I could send you an invite and you could play it without having to buy it.
But the experience wasn't that good.
I thought it was for online.
I guess. Oh, what were the other options? Yeah, Slow Gear. Oh, Monster Hunter Rise was in there. Never mind. This is a sham. These whole Game Awards things are a sham.
I'm trying to keep it positive, everybody. I'm just here to tell you, I'm fighting.
Oh, I'm positive. I'm positive that the Game Awards are a joke.
All right, I'm just moving on. Best
Yeah, go ahead.
sim/strategy game. Age of Empires won that over Evil Genius 2, Humankind, Inscription, and Microsoft Flight Simulator. Personally, a little disappointed that Microsoft Flight Simulator didn't win again, just for the sake of it, but whatever. Best sports racing game, of course, was Forza Horizon 5. Best family game was It Takes Two, which beat every other Nintendo game that was in the category, which is just crazy. But also, there's a lot of things that, well, I don't know. It Takes Two is not a family, like multiplayer. I can make an argument. Family game, I really can't, because I guess it ultimately ends up
No,
a stronger family. But
no,
I
it
feel like
doesn't.
it's a lot of. I feel like it's a lot of
Literally, the only
really.
difference that's going to happen in that household is that the mom's going to start singing in the mornings, and that's literally the only change.
Well, my whole thing is like I just feel like that's subject matter that's maybe a little bit heavier for kids, and like I don't think the messaging was for kids
No,
so much
it
as it
wasn't.
was for an adult,
The
maybe.
messaging was bad. It was unhealthy messaging. It literally was divorces magically get fixed.
Yeah.
That's dangerous. That is
Well,
harmful.
and I heard someone else talk about this too, about how it's not always healthy when people stay together for their kid. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um, I do think. Well, I don't know.
I don't think they stayed together for that kid. They didn't give a rip about that kid.
Maybe not. Maybe not. But anyway, just kind of a weird pick for family game, but whatever.
Yeah.
Best fighting game went to Guilty Gear Strive. So that's awesome.
I'm good with that because it has a banging soundtrack. That's the only thing I know
Banging
about it.
soundtrack.
Good
That's all
soundtrack.
we need. That's all we need. Best RPG went to Tales of Arise. One day I might try that, but I really just I don't think I can take on a 80, 90-hour game, but we'll see. Best action adventure went to Metroid Dread. Very exciting. Very
Sure.
good. Very good. Best action game went to Returnal. Beat
Bull crap.
beat out Back for Blood, Chivalry 2, Deathloop, Far Cry 6.
Okay, hold on. I'm doing it. Hold on. Let me look this up real quick. I've got the links here.
Guardians did win some stuff,
We'll
Akeem, and
get to that.
we
We'll
will
get
get
to
there.
that.
We will get there.
Best action game. For the best game in the action genre, primarily focused on combat. That's a terrible wait. That's so vague. Now the part that burns me about this one, because Returnal is not the worst game I've ever played. It just really it failed catastrophically at a very crucial aspect of its design. But the fact that they had somebody come up there and talk about like what makes good action in video games, and they're like, oh, it's kinetic, it's diverse, and like all these things. Returnal is none of the things that they said. So it was like they set themselves up to like be wrong, is how it felt, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because like Returnal's combat is so one note, where like it's all based on RNG. You're just basically playing a bullet hell and holding down the trigger and hoping that you get lucky. And I think Returnal deserved some stuff. Sound design, I would absolutely give that to Returnal. Like it did a lot of good things, but I would have given it to Far Cry 6 over Returnal, honestly, because Far Cry 6 did have good action, that was varied, that was chaotic, it was just fun to play. And Returnal just, and I know it's me, I'm biased, but you know that's the theme of tonight. Returnal was not fun to play. Like the first couple times it was like, okay, yeah, I get this. And then when I saw that, like when I realized, oh, there's literally nothing I can do to, well, maybe like two things I could do to affect my performance in this game, I just wasn't interested. I never played it again.
Yeah, I never got to play it. I bought it, never got around to playing it, but I feel like it had a lot of action, so
It
I feel like
did.
it does. It deserves to be in this category, but me personally, I'm surprised more people didn't vote for Deathloop in this. And then Vortex brings up a moment here. He says, not to mention they got Shang-Chi to sneakily advertise Halo Infinite. So I missed this part of the award.
Oh, it was so
And
bad.
I went back and watched the award show, and I kind of skimmed through a lot of stuff. And then when he came out to announce, I said, "Oh, here, I'll stop for a second. I want to hear this." And he comes out on his phone, and he's like, he's acting disinterested on his phone, which, like, obviously I understand it's a bit, but at a certain point, I was just like, okay, the bit's gone too far. It's like
The bit, as Jeremy said, the bit stopped being funny 5 seconds into it.
the bit was funny for like maybe the first two. Oh, I'm gonna look back at my phone, but after that, it was really distasteful. So I did not finish. Well, I ended up skimming through the rest of it. So I don't know. I didn't even realize he was advertising Halo Infinite. So sure, that's crazy. But anyway, let's see. We did best action, innovation in accessibility. Forza Horizon 5 won. All of these were really cool. I mean, when we went back and we read through.
Forza and Shroud were the only ones that really.
Forza and the Veil.
Was it the Veil? Or, that's right, Shroud's.
Forza and the Veil.
For some reason, I get those two words confused. The Veil, yeah.
The Veil was really cool. Like, honestly, I don't see. I think if more people knew what that game did, that would have won. But all of these games did some really cool stuff. But that was especially stellar. But Forza was the other one, Steven, when we read through all the things that we were like, wow, okay, yeah, they deserve something. That was a lot. Best VR AR game went to Resident Evil 4. Best community support went to Final Fantasy 14 Online. Very cool for them. Beat out Destiny, Fortnite.
Vortex, I can tell you what it's called. Just give me a second. Oh, is it not in this list? Never mind. Keep going, Jake.
Yeah, we'll get to it in the announcements at some point. Best mobile game was Genshin Impact. Cool. Best debut indie game was Kena Bridge of Spirits. Super excited about that. A lot of good indies in there, but that was very exciting for them. And then, of course, best indie game, Kena Bridge of Spirits as well. Again, lots of really good indies this year. Like all 12 minutes, Death's Door. Maybe not 12 minutes.
Okay.
Maybe not 12 minutes. Maybe not 12 minutes. But
back.
Death's Door. I'm taking it back. Maybe not 12 minutes, but Death's Door, Inscription, Loop Hero. All really, really good.
I'm very tempted to try Inscription. The more I've seen about it, because it's right up my alley.
So I was listening to another podcast where they kind of also summed up all of this, and there was one guy who every time Inscription was in something, he was just like, I'm happy for Kena, but Inscription should have won this. Like it was a whole Kanye West moment kind of thing. He was just like, Inscription should have knocked all these out. So
right.
I don't know. I would be interested to hear what you think of it, Steven, if you do end up trying it.
It's my kind of game, I think. Based on what I know about it.
Jake tried to slide 12 minutes in there. I did.
I won't allow it, Keith.
I just started. Honestly, I just started reading the list, and then after I said 12 minutes and started reading Death's Door, I was like, well, 12 minutes maybe not the best, but there
12 minutes is not a good game, and it gives me some semblance of hope that Jake agrees with me on that, because
I wanted it to be so much more than it was, and if it didn't go for such soap opera, how can we just blow your effing mind next with something that makes absolutely no sense? Yeah, it's a whole lot. I tell you this, though, the game would have gone a lot further for me. One huge plot hole that I still don't understand is why the dad and the cop were voiced by
Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe, thank you. I don't know why both of those characters were voiced by Willem Dafoe. They are not the same character, and that's very hard to tell. And I'm still not clear on if that's the case or not. But anyway, here we are. Best ongoing game. Did I do best ongoing game? Yeah, that's what I. No. Best ongoing game. It's Final Fantasy 14 again. So that they have gotten a lot of support this year. So that's really exciting for them. Games for Impact was Life is Strange True Colors, which,
it's stupid. It's stupid.
Well, I mean, all of these games did something for Impact, but
what did Life is Strange do?
It's a pro-social meaning, and that's kind of it. Talk about your emotions, that sort of thing. To me personally, it doesn't stand out against like Before Your Eyes, which is a game where every moment you blink, the game jumps forward to the next scene. and it just talks about how short life is, and then Chicory, which is about bringing color and life to a colorless and lifeless world.
As a dog,
As
which
a
is
cute little dog.
colorblind. Come on.
It's great. It's great. There are arguments for all of them, so it's it is what it is. Not my pick, but here we go. Best performance was Maggie Robertson from Resident Evil Village. She was Lady Dimitrescu, and she got up there and she talked and had her thing, and she was very tall. So I don't know if that inspired Lady Dimitrescu being so tall, but she had some Lady Dimitrescu vibes for sure. Moving on.
That one bothers me too because she shouldn't have won that.
Well,
she's a meme. That's why she won. People on the internet are really weird with her. That's why she won.
I'm sure that had a lot of pull for it, but she did a good job. She played the part well. She wouldn't be a meme if she didn't perform well.
That's not true. I mean? She was a meme before the game even came out.
Yeah, but she was that. You hear her talk and you see bits of her performance in.
Here's let me tell you about the internet, Jake. The internet boys saw this big-breasted woman who's 9 feet tall, and they wanted her to do things to them, and they made internet memes.
I understand that. I'm just trying to be a little positive here. Just trying to keep it a little look on the optimistic side here. You good? Yes. Steven, keep talking about how much you hate Lady Dimitrescu for just another second.
Top 10 reasons that I hate Lady Dimitrescu. 1, she's too tall. 2, her hat is dumb. 3, her name is confusing and hard to pronounce. I didn't know how to pronounce it for a very long time. 4, I got to go back to the hat. I very much dislike that hat. 5.
Please stop. I'm sorry. I had of all the categories that could have happened, that was I guess there could have been a worse one, but anyway. Let's see. We did best performance. Best audio design went to Forza Horizon 5. Very nice. Those cars sound real good. And then this one's going to get Steven heated, everybody, so buckle in. Best score and music went to Nier Replicant version 1.222474487139.
Look, I enjoy good orchestral music more than anybody involved in this channel. I'm a music nerd when it comes to gaming.
Okay, first off, I take offense to that.
You mean to tell me that you appreciate music and gaming more than me? How many different video game albums do you listen to on Spotify daily? I will win Spotify, this argument.
So I don't know. Maybe 25,000.
I wasn't paying attention to the monster's phase again, and I didn't get to see what kind of attack it used. So now I don't know what I'm doing. You're distracting me, Jake.
I'm sorry.
Look, I love orchestral music. I do. And yes, we know Nier games, really Final Fantasy games, Square Enix games in general. Sure. Japan does some great scoring in their games.
Mm-hmm.
But you mean to tell me that the game that not only had an excellent score, but also had a band created for it that was excellent and licensed every 80s song that anyone's ever heard, that's not going to win best score and licensed music? That's dumb.
Look, I don't know. I feel like it was a losing battle from the start because Nier was in the conversation. That's just people who like video game music love Nier like it's nobody's business.
So what? People need to get past their biases and stop being wrong all the time. I don't know.
Vortex is defending you, saying that y'all talk about video game music often. So he probably does, but I appreciate. Here's the thing.
He has you there, John.
He has you there. You got me there, John. I like video game music. Okay, I listen. That's the only thing Asher and I listen to in the car is video game music. I'm not very good at analyzing, and I can't tell you what's. I like to think I can tell you what's better than something else, but I don't know that it's like a, I don't know, super educated analysis of. But anyway, best art direction went to Deathloop, which of all the things that it won,
It's a weird one.
that's the one. It has great art direction. It went up against Kena Bridge of Spirits, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and The Artful Escape. Now, I know you haven't played The Artful Escape, Steven. I don't think you've played Psychonauts.
I haven't.
The Artful Escape has a very unique art style, and it is pretty much all. I mean, there's not as much game as there is art direction in that game. Psychonauts 2, every level is kind of its own different game style. And don't get me wrong, Deathloop has an amazing, like a very strong brand and a very strong art direction, but I would argue that some of the other games had
this is one,
not even a stronger, but just like they had a more varied and more diverse art.
This
direction.
is one that made me feel like this was the year of the participation trophy. Like it just kind of felt like every game that was like in the conversation was given a win, and it just kind of felt random. The games that got like the wins that the games got, you know, like that. It was just weird because Deathloop deserved more than just art direction. Returnal didn't win action, but it probably only won it because that was the only thing it was nominated for that you could make an argument for. Like there were just some weird ones, you know. Like, and I don't know, like I feel weird about a lot of these winners just because they don't add up. Normally it's just like you've got the one favorite, but this year it was like you had the one favorite and it almost felt like everyone needed their piece of the pie.
Speaking of pie and everyone's favorite, best narrative went to Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy.
I was so shocked and so pleased.
So pleased. Of all the things that Marvel's Guardians was nominated for, this was by far the one that it most deserved to win. I would argue, like you said, Steven, that it should have won the music, but narrative is by far Marvel's of the Guardians of the Galaxy's strongest piece. But anyway, sad it didn't win more, but I'm glad. I'm really glad of all the things it was nominated for it won that. So best game direction also went to Deathloop. So it beat out It Takes Two, so that's good. That's mean. So you know that's something that it took away from It Takes Two. I don't know how to say that nicely, but I think that was good for Deathloop to win.
That's one that I could see giving to Deathloop because it fired on all cylinders really well, and it had a style to it, like an aesthetic, not just from like a visual or audio, but also just had an overall style to it, if that makes sense.
Yes, no, I get what you're saying.
So I think that was one that I would have given to it because it also, again, bringing up Returnal in the conversation, but the fact that Deathloop came out kind of was a slap in the face to Returnal because in my opinion, Deathloop did what Returnal was trying to do and did it infinitely better. And with that being kind of a genre bend, I always like to look to games that do that kind of thing when it comes to best direction, because it's hard to genre bend well. And I think that it did.
See, and that's kind of my thing. It's like they took a lot of elements from a lot of games, a lot of their games, and somehow combined them all and blended them so well, and made one of the best games they've made so far. So really glad they won that. And then of course, Game of the Year went to It Takes Two.
No, Jake.
I'm sorry, that's wrong. The Game of the Year went to Joseph Ferris. So big round of applause for Joseph. So in all seriousness, and Stephen, I'll let you go in a second, but let me just say, as this, I kind of said this, we had a really good discussion, a really long discussion. I don't want to rehash it entirely here at the end of the live stream, where this was when this happened. This was the very last thing they did. And this is what I said then. It Takes Two would not have been my pick for Game of the Year, but I do like, now that we're here, I do like that it won because Hazelight has been slowly doing something for the couch co-op but online gameplay experience. And I think really after, I guess it was 2017, 18,
I
16
want to say
maybe,
17.
when Joseph Ferris like first had his F the Oscars moment on the Game Awards. Since that moment, I mean, he was kind of thrust to the spotlight a little bit. But I think EA gave Hazelight the green light of like, okay, you're a name now. Let's see what you can do. He did what is it?
A Way Out.
A Way Out. Okay, I was gonna say A Way Out, but that didn't sound right. He did A Way Out, and that was really well received. A lot of people liked it. I enjoyed it. And so I think EA said, okay, look, here we go. Let's do something else, do something bigger. And so they did It Takes Two. And while It Takes Two has a lot of problems, what I respect about it is that I respect its structure more than anything. I bought the game for a reasonable price, and I was able to share it with you, Steven, at no additional cost. There aren't many online multiplayer games that you can do that. There are some, absolutely. But I think that's huge. And I think for one of those kinds of games to win an award like this, whether it was a scam or whatever, I hope, and I do think that will push developers and publishers to give games like this a chance. And maybe one day something like It Takes Two will really, really, really be worthy of Game of the Year. Again, don't think it's a bad game. It just would not have been my Game of the Year. So anyway, Steven, I've unlocked your shackles. The muzzle has come off.
You can't shackle me. I cannot
go crazy.
caged.
Go crazy.
It didn't deserve it. It wasn't that good of a game. It just had a concept. It had a good idea, and it executed on the idea. And that's the best thing it did, was just not completely mess up the core idea. But that doesn't make a Game of the Year, or it shouldn't. Like, I could have just the best idea here right now, and execute it just well enough to where the core idea is there.
Mm-hmm.
But if I don't execute in terms of polish, writing, overall design, then have I really executed to that quality? And no, I haven't. And that's how it is with this game. And I'm glad it's a game. I'm glad that it exists. Kind of. I think that it's horrendous that the story and the writing that it has, I think that is insulting that it exists and it has been as well received as it has. I think it's just downright dangerous for those kinds of themes. And I think that everyone being like, wow, the story's so good because it tackles divorce. I think stopping there is being ignorant. And you should say, well, that's brave of it to tackle hard subjects like divorce. But if it doesn't deliver in, seeing that message through, then that's a bad thing. And it did not deliver. So no, just because it did the thing does not make it good in that realm. It just makes it to where it had the balls to do it in the first place. That being said, it's not the worst game I've ever played. I appreciate what Hazelight does, but the part that steams me the most about it is that it just everything surrounding it. It's the whole Jeffatism thing that I joke about. It just feels fishy, and it's an unhealthy way for the industry to Flynn agrees with me, to give away accolades like that based on a guy who, sure, he cares about the industry, but it seems like he cares a lot more about his importance in the industry. And I'm talking about Jeff Keighley.
Yeah.
Um,
It's funny you bring that up because something I was really trying to think about this because watching the Game Awards again, something that's and this was a comment I made. I guess it was last year when I did the drunk the
that was
drunk watch
last year,
along.
yeah.
So even in my drunken state, I remember commenting like, "Why are they not giving the time of day to half of these awards?" Um,
Mhm.
a lot of them are just quickly thrown away announcements that move us on to the next thing. And now, don't get me wrong, I I understand that they're doing that so we can get to more announcements. And I would honestly say I'd almost rather. I think me personally, I enjoy the announcements more than I do the awards.
Mhm.
But at the same time, what I enjoy about the Game Awards is that it is a moment where all of us as gamers come together at the end of the year and we get excited about games that we got to play this year, and then we get a glimpse at what's coming in the future, but also next year. Um, that's what I enjoy most, and I get most excited about. Who wins the awards to me just almost doesn't even matter. Like, I almost more so prefer hearing the 5 games that were nominated for a category. You know what I mean? And I not that I'm saying I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just saying I wish if we're gonna really care, like if we're gonna be serious about the awards, then let everybody have their moment. You know what I mean? Don't just throw away half the announcements. But then also at the same time, like if we're not going to do that, then let's just not. Here are the games of the year. Here are all the nominees. Pick your favorite. Whatever, like something like that. I almost think would be better, and then focus more on the announcements and all that. But I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I honestly, at this point, I imagine, if I'm understanding correctly, what you're saying is kind of like, don't give away awards. Just be like, here's a highlight of all of the strategy games that have come out this year, and like just do
Yeah. Oh,
montage videos for
see,
all of them or
that
something.
is an even better idea. Like, and
Do a
I
YouTube
don't think.
rewind for each genre.
But see, and I think it would have to be. I don't know. I don't know how we could do that, but like I love that idea of just
Mhm.
like here are the top 10 strategy games that came out this year. Boom. Or even top 5 if we needed to limit it down. I mean, that's what we do for our game of the years. Steven and I pick our top 5 favorite things. And we usually have like a one that we would say is our game of the year. But really we could turn on a dime and say any of those 5 were our favorite games of the year. Um, I don't know, something like that. Like I like seeing the nominees. I usually write down a lot, like a lot of the indie games. I wrote those down. I've played, of course, 12 minutes is the one that I've played, right? But some of those other ones I'd like to get to, I'd like to play. Um, and so I prefer to see just the list of, hey, here's the nominees, because I really feel like, especially since we don't focus on every announcement, the winner just doesn't really matter ultimately.
Mhm.
It's I mean, like it's funny. I looking for everything that was announced because we're about to get into that. Uh, I saw a list of all the Game of the Year winners for the last however many years. I completely forgot that Sekiro won last year. Now, there's lots of reasons why I forgot. I would have forgotten that.
It didn't win last year. It won the year before that.
Was it?
Last of Us 2 won last year because Neil Druckmann paid off Jeff.
Okay, I didn't mean to bring up that conversation again. But anyway, I completely forgot the one that Sekiro won,
Yeah.
which was that was such an exciting win for Sekiro. Um, but you know what I mean? Like it's like and here I am now saying, oh, that was last year. Wait, what? It's what year? What are you talking about? So I just think
They should
I
use
just
it as an opportunity to bring
yeah.
attention to games to other gamers, not like it should be a night for the consumer, not to inflate the importance of certain companies, because that's kind of how it feels. That it just kind of feels like a corporate jerk off. Honestly, it's just how it feels. And if they did it in a way to where it was more of like, I had it for a second, and then I lost it. The saying corporate jerk off really threw me off.
Really threw yourself for a loop there.
I did. I wasn't expecting that for myself.
Akib, I don't think they did a game of the decade last year, but I don't remember a lot from last year, so sorry.
I don't remember that either.
Well,
but like make it to where they could use the Game Awards as an opportunity to bring attention to games for everyone that you may not have played, something like that, where it's less about let's celebrate.
Let's
the
argue
opinions.
about which one was the best,
Right.
and instead focus on the 5 that would kind of collectively say were the best of the year,
and bridging the gap between the different groups
genres
of the different genre groups.
Yeah,
to where people who are on the fringe, like your strategy gamers like me, can have a moment to where your shooter bros are watching and they're like, oh wow, this XCOM game looks pretty cool, and your strategy people are like, oh, let me tell you about XCOM. So it's really more about celebrating just gaming in general, not the people who wear suits and tell the people who made them what to do, because that's basically where we end up.
Yeah. By the way, I've just been sitting in front of the Space Horse for the last, how long we've been going? 40 minutes or so.
I swapped over to Monster Hunter Rise.
I noticed that. I was like, okay.
I got really mad at stories because I used a Palamute ticket to try to find another Palamute. I'm trying to find a different color one, and I ended up getting the freaking Ludrith egg, like the pink Ludrith, and that's like finding a Caterpie. Like,
ooh, yeah.
Just to use Jake language.
Thank you. I appreciate Jake language. Kaylin said, did you talk about the drummers that were the Tar guys' alarm clock?
Oh yeah,
no, we haven't gotten there yet. But that's a great segue. Let's talk about the announcements that were made at this year's Game Awards. I am going off a list from Games Radar. I do not know for a fact that this is in order. I'm always confused about that, but I'm just going to go down the list. If I miss something, let me know. But starting with the pre-show announcements, we'll kind of blow through a lot of these. Tunic got a release date. Whoop-de frickin' do.
When I saw that, I was like, wait, this game, it hasn't been out for 2 years?
See, that's what you look at it. Was out. You'd look at it and you say, oh, it's a Jake game. It's a Fox. Okay, that's a tick for Jake. It's a Zelda-like. Okay, tick for Jake. For whatever reason, I don't like it. And maybe it's because, like you said, Steven, it's like, this game's not out yet, and so I'm just sick of seeing it. So I don't even care. I don't even care.
Wow.
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They got a brief teaser. Got a brief teaser for that,
and we know it will be basically it's going to be Friday the 13th / Dead by Daylight, to where it's 4v1 or whatever. Which that's dumb to me. Like Texas Chainsaw Massacre does not fit in that type of game, in my opinion. Because if you know the movies,
so I don't have a clue.
Leatherface in a lot of the movies and a lot of the universe, he was more of a victim, to where like he was a tool being used by the family. And so it seems weird when you have someone like Jason, who is clearly just a force of vengeance in Friday the 13th. It seems odd to basically do that, but with a character who, one, isn't supernatural that we know of, and two, isn't just a pure force of evil. Like, I don't know. It's strange.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not remotely interested in it, but if you're into that kind of thing, there you go.
I'm not either.
Homeworld 3 got a gameplay trailer. Its release window is Q4 2022. Never heard of it. It's apparently been long awaited.
But there's Flynn. There's the most realistic version of Flynn in any video game that's ever existed.
It's crazy. It really is crazy how similar he looks to all that.
I love it. I love it.
The Expanse, which is a really cool fantasy or sci-fi show, it's getting a Telltale series, so that's cool. That was a reveal.
That was kind of a disappointment, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm never going to play a Telltale game again. But like when they said like Telltale, I was expecting like, oh, is this one of the games that got dropped when they went under? And it's like, no, it's a tie-in with a TV show that's running right now because that worked out really well last time, huh? Game of Thrones. Telltale did a Game of Thrones game and no one liked it.
I remember. Yeah, I've heard great things about The Expanse, the show.
Right.
But yeah, I completely agree with you. It's very dangerous to take it'd be one thing if this had no connection to the show.
Yeah.
And like, but the fact that that's running, it sounds like they're kind of basing everything off of what's happening, not necessarily what's happening in the show, but just like it's this show. Yeah. And that's something I think that's what a lot of people didn't like about the Game of Thrones thing was you could completely change what happened in the story. And so I don't know. Anyway, Monster Hunter's Rise Sunbreak got a gameplay trailer. Very nice timing, Steven, switching to Rise.
Completely unintentional.
Completely unintentional. But anyway, that's coming out. So lots of cool new monsters and everything. And then this is a weird one for me. I don't know how I want to like this, but I don't know that I do. Frankly, it's called Thirsty Suitors.
You don't like it. I swear, Jake.
It's from Annapurna, and Annapurna don't miss. But
what else did Annapurna make?
They've made lots of things. I'm completely blanking right now. They're making that cat game. They're making Stray. They've seriously made a lot of games that I like, but I'm blanking on names right now. They made that VR game where you have a pigeon on your shoulder. They're a publisher, but their teams are usually really cool. Anyway, I'm surprised you didn't have any love for this at all, Steven, because
so am I. It's Scott Pilgrim.
Exactly. That's where I'm stuck. I can't. I love that it's Scott Pilgrim the game, but just Indian culture.
It looked cringe as hell, and I think a lot of it has to do with the art style. It looked like a Nintendo 64 game. Like it looked rough.
It did look rough, but I can't get past the Scott Pilgrim thing. It's like maybe this would be fun. Like I don't know, but the opening dialogue that happens in the trailer, if they show better writing at a certain point where it would be funny and clever like Scott Pilgrim,
mm-hmm.
It is the premise of Scott Pilgrim. It's
absolutely the premise of Scott Pilgrim.
So I think
literally battling your exes, like.
Yeah, I think it could be a lot of fun. The writings thus far did not really.
Again, it's one of those things where like the vibe I got from it, and I mean, I commend them for doing something that does look very creative. Mm-hmm. And Scott Pilgrim, like honestly, the fact that we haven't gotten a game adaptation other than the movie tie-in, which technically it wasn't a movie tie-in game, but the brawler. The fact that we haven't gotten more from Scott Pilgrim is surprising and good for them for taking advantage of that premise because it's great. But it seems like, again, one of those things where the vibe I get, based off this trailer for a game that's not anywhere close to being out yet, or is it? I don't remember. But
I don't think so. I think it's got a while.
But the vibe I get is that they had the idea and they weren't quite sure how to execute on it. So it's just going to end up being kind of a mess, with a really good idea.
We shall see. This one I think we're both very excited for, Steven. Evil West got a game. It was like trailer.
Freaking Cole Cassidy and God of War. Like that was me using the new proper name of Overwatch's Cowboy.
Very Cole nice.
Cassidy,
thank you.
Yeah.
See, it gives me big Van Helsing vibes.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm surprised that wasn't where you went first, but it looks like Kratos. If it looks like Kratos, if Kratos was Van Helsing, it looked really good and really fun.
It's not at all what I expected from that game because we've known about it. We just knew that it was going to be like a supernatural Western kind of game. That's not at all what I expected it to be. But I'm excited.
got a lot of great Western vibes, fighting monsters, vampires, werewolves, that sort of thing. Looks really, really fun. The gameplay, honestly, like we've been saying, it feels a lot like God of War just from what we're seeing. Not that you're necessarily throwing an axe, but it's third
It's that
person.
close to the back third person, kind of slow gameplay, like slow but
Yeah.
deliberate, but not Souls like.
Yes. Yeah. Looks very fun. Very excited about that one. Have a Nice Death. Was a
Looked
cool
very
little,
Hollow Knight, I think is what Jeremy
very
said.
Hollow Knight. Very yeah, Hollow Knight. That's exactly what it is. Looks very good though. Then we got a new trailer for Planet of Lana. And I don't remember if I had bad things to say about that game at E3, but I want to publicly here,
Which one was
Steven,
that?
this is everyone take out your notepads. This is an official statement moment here. I formally apologize for any ill will or bad thing I said about Planet of Lana. I am on board with your
What
concept and ready to go.
what
Steven, the trailer that they showed here, it's a colorful, kind of cartoonish,
I mean,
side scroller, simplistic art style, minimalist art style, I should say. Um, the E3 trailer that they showed the main character who's a little boy, and then he has this little weird shadow cat thing. And then suddenly, like at the end of the trailer, you see all these like ships crashing into his planet.
mhm.
Uh, the Game Awards trailer that they um, showed the boy riding this spider mech horse thing.
That's right. That's right. So
And
I remember writing this one down and texting it to you guys because I was like, Jake's
uh-huh.
gonna like this when he sees it. That's all I remembered.
I remember when you texted, I was just like, yeah, I'm not excited about Planet Atlanta. I don't know why he sent me that. And honestly, it's got everything I need. I just wasn't very excited about the side scroller aspect of it.
Mhm.
Um, but holy hell, let me tell you, this trailer totally could change my mind. For one, hey, for one, I'm weirdly really into the spider robot horse thing. I don't know why, but it is so cool. And so anyway, this kid's running from all these like monster ships that are chasing him, and like I don't know if there's going to be combat in the game. It feels very much like Inside
Yeah.
or Limbo. Not so much in the dark like color, but like if you painted those with some bright colors, I feel like that's what this game is going to be like. You're just constantly running from the next threat, and trying to make do with your little cat buddy, and so I'm they're getting me. They're slowly getting me, and so I don't know what else I need to see, but I'm excited for it. Persona 4 Arena Ultimax port has been released. Um, and then I think that was it for the pre-show mostly. If there was something I missed in the pre-show, just hit me up with it. Talking about the Game Awards again, no particular order. In fact, I don't know. This
Can
might
we
be in
talk
order.
about how Sydney Goodman was definitely like drunk?
Was she
she was
drunk?
she was acting weird this year.
She's always very goofy, and so
I remember her previous years. This was
yes,
different Sydney Goodman.
was
Like
it?
it just
Huh.
seemed odd.
Well, I didn't watch
Jeremy was
much of her
picking it up
stuff.
too, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
I wish I had watched it live because I didn't want to. Again, when I went back and watched some of those moments, I just kind of skimmed through some of that. But anyway, Sydney has gone out on her own now. She was attached to IGN. She's doing her own thing now, so maybe she felt a little bit more like she could be a little loosey goosey. But anyway, whatever. Sinuous Sacrifice, Hellblade 2, or no, I'm sorry, Sinuous Saga, Hellblade 2 got a crazy gameplay trailer.
Yeah, that was insane.
I mean, the realistic, the realism is insane. I
Did you
mean, it
watch it with
looks
headphones?
no.
Oh, you should have watched
Well,
it with
I
headphones.
take that back. I did. Um, this was one I kind of just skimmed through this trailer because I didn't love the first game. Brody and I played it and did a let's play of it. If you ever want to go back and watch me play it, And it soured on me at the end because it took us so long. It took us so long to get through. But and then also when it became an Xbox exclusive, I was kind of like, okay, I'll probably never play this, so I need to just like turn my brain off. Brody is coming in. He said, "Who is Lucy Goosey?" I'm just tuning in. We're talking about Sydney Goodman's Brody. She was the hostess who hosted the pre-show. Anyway, Steven said she seemed like something was off. Maybe a little
She's a little
tipsy, maybe, or something. But whatever.
She had some Joseph Ferris energy going on, except without the Jeffatism.
There you go. There you go. I don't know. She's done the pre-show hosting twice now, so she's probably got a little bit of Jeffatism.
That's true.
Anyway,
I'm sure if she made a game, Jeff would start talking about how they're best friends. I'm sorry.
Wow. Let's see. So Senua, she fights off a giant in the game. I'm still kind of confused. It looked like they started off really strong, and then once they actually started attacking the giant, it looked like Senua kind of lost her marbles there. So I didn't follow exactly what was going on in the gameplay. But anyway, Brody has been thinking about going back to play that because we didn't have headphones.
Well, I mean,
I'm pretty sure we did have headphones, Brody. The problem was we were splitting headphones. And one of the things that happens in that game is Senua has voices in her head, and you're hearing the voices in her head all the time. And sometimes they're very clear, sometimes they're very soft and muted, but sometimes they only pop up in your right ear or your left ear. And so there were a lot of times that Brody was hearing things that I wasn't hearing, and I was hearing things Brody wasn't hearing. So, yeah, Vortex, we can see messages from everywhere all the time. But like I said, with the new setup, I have to manually click who I want to appear. So if I don't bring up your chat, it's nothing against your chat. It's just I'm usually not watching it when that's happening. So anyway, game looks amazing. I will probably want to at least try it on Games Pass. So we'll see. Then probably my favorite announcement of the night, at least one of my favorites, Star Wars Eclipse got a reveal trailer. This is Quantic Dream's Star Wars game. It's set in the High Republic era. The trailer is very intense, very moody. Looks like a lot. It looks beautiful. Of course, it's just a cinematic trailer, so like,
yeah,
we know
but
nothing.
It is Quantic Dream.
But knowing it's Quantic Dream kind of gives us a pretty good picture. I, at this point, am expecting Detroit Become Human, but Star Wars.
Yeah.
And not necessarily that it's going to focus on droids, but I'm sure there will be some droids. Obviously, there was a droid in the trailer even. But I am expecting a multi-arc, choose your own adventure kind of game. And obviously Detroit Become Human had some gameplay, but it was mostly high. This is so funny to say, high intensity choice. Like it was choose your own adventure, but you got to be careful what you're doing. You got to be cautious. Like you're timed on a lot of things. Like I'm expecting Detroit Become Human, but Star Wars. Right. And that's super, super exciting. Now, I was talking to another friend about this, and they made a great point. They were just like, I'm afraid people are going to be disappointed by this because the gameplay is not going to be very fun.
Right.
Which is a good point. I mean, I think I watched some other people's react, and even y'all's reaction. I think you and Jeremy both, when the lightsabers came out, when the Jedi were fighting on the bridge.
Yep.
Y'all were both like, "What is this? What are we doing? Oh my god!" Yeah. So that was very exciting.
I
hope it has good gameplay. But go ahead.
I have a counterpoint to that, the worry of disappointment, because I think the worry of people being disappointed is totally valid. But here's my counterpoint. Even though, and by the way, this game apparently, according to rumors or whatever, may not come out for another like 3 or 4 years.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, know my rule. You know my rule. You get one cinematic trailer,
right?
The next one I got to see gameplay. So
my argument is that we can hopefully, with confidence, say that this game will come out before any new Star Wars movie. It'll come out before any Star Wars game that takes place during High Republic era. So High Republic is essentially the new Disney canon version of the Old Republic. So if you were going to introduce a new era of Star Wars, wouldn't it be the best to introduce it in the most cinematic way possible to where you can get the world really well and then get people excited about the High Republic that way, and then make games based on High Republic that you can be hyped about, where, like, let's say there's a cool bounty hunter character in Quantic Dreams Star Wars, or in Eclipse, and you learn a lot about like the bounty hunting ways in the Old Republic era, and then a few years from now they're like, oh yeah, we're doing a game about that character. You could be way more stoked because you have full context and they don't have to work as hard to explain context. So it's kind of like getting a playable movie to introduce this whole new era of Star Wars. And I think if they take advantage of that, I think that could be really good.
I kind of get what you're saying. I don't know that I completely agree with it, but I understand. And what I was going to say is Star Wars has really good story.
Yeah.
So I'm cool with this being a story thing, and kind of and this kind of goes against what you were saying too, but like, you know, Detroit Become Human had so many crazy, drastically different endings,
right?
Based on how you played the three characters. And so I would assume they're going to follow a similar thing here with Star Wars Eclipse. So Steven and I may not experience the same game, and therefore may not totally experience the same world. Like, I think a lot of it will be there. Obviously, our starting point will be the same, but I don't know. I don't know if it would be the best way to introduce an era. I feel like when we introduce things, like Guardians of the Galaxy is a decent example here. For most people, when the MCU brought in Guardians of the Galaxy, that was probably their first experience with the Guardians of the Galaxy. And so in a lot of ways, that kind of laid down the groundwork of like, okay, Star-Lord has to be the way he is in the MCU movies. And then Guardians of the Galaxy, the game came out, and it obviously took a lot more inspiration from the comics than the movies. They did take they cherry picked some good things that came out of the movies, like Drax's not understanding sarcasm and things like that. But they, and this is a testament to them, but they did a really good job at breaking that mold. I think I've heard a lot of people say that they like the video game characters more than they like the movie characters now.
Well, they're way better.
Yeah, but but that's crazy though, to break someone's first introduction to something that was good that they liked. So
yeah, so
I don't know. I think that one could be good.
To use your point, crap, freaking Magnum. To use your point, to my point, Guardians of the Galaxy is a great entryway into cosmic Marvel, because it's kind of a sample platter for all of the cosmic things, because they deal with every corner of it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were going to be introduced to a new era of Star Wars, and this is just hypothetically, because we don't know how the game's going to play, but hypothetically, doesn't it make sense to do it in a sample platter sort of way, to where you may be following a force sensitive character who's trying to decide whether to follow the dark side or the light side, or to follow a trooper in the High Republic, or to follow a smuggler? So you can see the Outer Rim, the workings of the Republic, the workings of the Force. You get to see all of those things and the way they work in that time, through a cinematic lens, so that you can kind of get what that era is all about before you dive into that more focused realm that another game may show you that's not a Quantic Dream style game.
You bring up a great point, and now that we're here, I really hope they take a note out of the Guardians of the Galaxy's playbook, because Guardians of the Galaxy just won Best Narration, right?
Yep.
But Guardians of the Galaxy definitively has more gameplay than Detroit Become Human.
Yeah.
if we could somehow strike a balance between those two, I would be super happy. That would be like if we had Guardians of the Galaxy level gameplay in this Star Wars Eclipse, that would be more than I'm honestly expecting right now. As far as gameplay goes, I
Right.
feel like it'll be now. I feel like the story and the choices and how the story will branch would be way worlds crazier and more. I feel like you would have more impact on the story
Oh, absolutely.
than Guardians did. But if we could have at least that level of gameplay, that would be awesome. So we need to keep moving. We're at an hour. Lost Ark got the Founders Pack got a release date trailer. It's dropping February 11th, 2022.
I have nothing to say about that except for the fact that when the website showed or the title showed up at the end of the trailer, Jeremy went, "Ah, yes, Lestark," and I laughed really hard.
Lestark.
And I looked away and fainted again. God dang it, freaking Magnamalo!
All right, so here now this one I was mad about when I went back and rewatched that no one said anything about. The Wonder Woman game got a reveal trailer. It's from the people who made Middle Earth, Shadow of Mordor. Steven, are you kidding? Like,
So
this is gonna be amazing.
So Wonder Woman to me is a boring character for video game adaptation.
Oh, I completely disagree.
She's too powerful, like Superman. So I need to be shown how are they making her work as a video game character.
There is a reason why Wonder Woman is getting this game and not Superman. And it's what you just said. Superman is too powerful. Wonder Woman is not. She is super powerful, but she you know, she can get hurt. So I am very excited, but also, and I heard people say that it was the people who did Middle Earth Shadow of War, but they said their name is Monolith, right?
Monolith. It's Monolith.
When I heard Monolith, I was just like, okay, I can't remember what they're doing. Now that I know that, I am just thinking of how fun it was to just run around and wreck in Middle Earth Shadow of War and Shadow of Mordor. So to do that as Wonder Woman with all these crazy superpowers and everything, I think that's going to be awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I don't dislike the idea. I'm not sour on or anything. Wonder Woman is just not an interesting character to me. And I guess I was hopeful that I want to see more from Monolith, or at least more from the systems that were featured in the Shadow games, like the Nemesis system.
The Nemesis system.
I want more of that, and that does not work in a Wonder Woman game. And so it's just like, if you were going to make a Wonder Woman game that you wanted really good action for, sure, Monolith is good for that, but also, like, we know Monolith is capable of more than that. So, like, why them? I'm curious to see why them, as opposed to, like, heck, even who is it? Is it Rocksteady that does Batman?
Yes, yeah. Or they did a Batman game. They're doing.
They're doing.
They're
Gotham
the
Knights.
Ones. Yes,
no, they're
that
doing
are working
Suicide
on the
Squad.
Gotham. No. Yes,
because there's an A team and a B team.
Yes,
The
yes,
A team's
yes,
on
yes,
Suicide
yes,
Squad.
yes,
B is on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, but I don't know. Anyway, it could be very exciting. I think the Nemesis system could work. You could throw like her actual Nemesis, like her actual villains in the Nemesis system somehow.
Well,
you wouldn't be able to get them higher in a rank, but I think
that's what was interesting about it to me is being able to manipulate the enemy's lieutenants as assets, rather than just knowing, because like Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Valhalla did the Nemesis system, but without the actual like subterfuge and working up in the ranks. And at that point, it was just, hey, there are bosses wandering around the map. Go fight them. And that's not interesting. It's just something to do.
Vortex thinks it's going to be poo poo. I'm sorry to hear that. I think it'll be good. I think it'll be great. Then we got Alan Wake 2 reveal trailer. Steven has a great reaction.
It's up to 150
video
views
that I posted. It's very funny. My favorite is that you're so calm, and then it dawns on you.
So I'll tell you the exact
And you
thing that made me
lose
realize it. Because we were talking about something, and Jeremy was like, "Is this the Forest 2?" And I was like,
Yeah.
because it had a very Sons of Forest look to it. And I was like, maybe. And I was like zoned out. And then there's a moment in the trailer when it transitions to like the city streets of Bright Falls, like the streets of Bright Falls. And that moment I looked at it and I was like, oh yeah, it's Alan Wake. And I went, wait, it's Alan Wake. Like you can see like the light bulb like flip in my head. But yeah, awesome looking trailer. I'm glad that they announced 2023 instead of 2022, because this is one of those that we know they've been working on it for a while, but I'm glad that it's not the kind of situation to where it feels like an overpromise. That feels realistic.
Yeah. Well, it says it promises to break new ground, so we'll see how it goes. I'm so happy for you, Steven. That's a big win. It's a big win.
Thank you.
Sonic the Hedgehog 2 got its official trailer. Very fun looking trailer. Love Idris Elba as Knuckles. Horizon Forbidden West got a new gameplay trailer showing off some new outfits, some of the crazy stealth and combat scenarios and systems that Aloy has at her disposal now. I don't know that I'm going to be able to play this game as fast paced as some people and like as some of the trailers I've seen and like clips. But I really hope I can play it that way. But I feel like it's going to be I'm going to be a lot more methodical about it.
I feel like that's signs of a good combat design though, because Monster Hunter, and it's not just because I'm playing it, but it's a great example to where like I'm getting my butt kicked, and I'm not like bad at the game, I don't think, but I feel like I have a pretty good grasp on the game, but I will never achieve the freaking aerial acrobatics and just poetry in motion that you see on YouTube videos of this game.
Right.
So good combat design, I feel, has a low floor but a high ceiling, where you could spend a long time mastering something that you don't have to try hard to feel competence with.
Exactly. Let's see. Then we got Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade is now being released on PC. That's coming out December 16th, so very close if you're excited for that. And then I was so disappointed in you and Jeremy. The Destiny 2 Witch Queen trailer came out.
It was the same trailer we've seen.
No.
Yes.
No.
It is a formula at this time. It is a template.
A formula, sure, but lots of new things. There were new super abilities that were shown off in the trailer. We got to see more of the glaive. We got to see new exotics. One of the exotics was from the 30th anniversary event that's happening right now. That's a gun from Halo. So that was kind of, I thought that was funny that they showed that in this trailer. But anyway, and then like there's the new Hive Guardians. Like we're fighting. I mean, obviously we've fought other Guardians for years in PvP, but like our enemies now can use the light. Like what? It's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. No. Like what? That doesn't make sense. That sounds like a gimmick.
I mean, I'm sure it is a gimmick, but what I'm fully expecting, because in the story right now, Mars is in the darkness. It was taken over by darkness. And it's unclear based on this trailer. This is the first time we've heard that we're going to Mars, because up until now we've been told we're going to the Witch Queen's throne world. I fully expect that this whole thing is some sort of simulation that we're stepping into, and that outside of the simulation, her Hive Guardians don't actually have the light. But that's just me speculating. I have no idea. So I don't know. Anyway, whatever. I was just like, the whole time watching y'all's reaction back, I was just like, The glaive is new. Those are new supers. Like, we don't have those powers right now. Anyway,
But
it is what it is.
it's the glaive is a new weapon, sure, but it just sounds like a sword with extra steps. The new supers, I couldn't really tell what was new about them. And the fact that you're going back to Mars just kind of alludes to what I've been saying about the DCV really ever since they announced it, and that they were just going to recycle assets that they pull from the game and rewrite them and act like it's new content. Because we all own Mars,
right?
But we can't play it right now because they put it in the vault just so they can make us pay for it again. And that's what this is. Because if that's one of the new locations in the expansion, you're essentially paying for the same place that you've already been, and I guarantee you the assets are going to be very reused.
Yeah. It will be mostly similar. But anyway, enough about that. We got Splinterhead reveal trailer.
Slitterhead. Like slit.
This says split. I'm reading the trailer title and the title on this document. And it says split. Splinterhead.
Everywhere else I've seen says Slitterhead.
I'm gonna actually watch the trailer now to confirm. But this is a new hit game from Silent Hill director and Bokeh Game
looks
Studios.
Gross. but it looks
I don't even remember which one this is.
How do you not remember this game, Jake? It's where the Japanese dude sees the prostitute and then her face becomes a giant toothy mouth, and then everyone just their faces start opening up and they start eating each other. Yeah.
I vaguely remember that from the Nightingale trailer, but not this. I'm watching this one now. I think I must have skipped through this one. All right. Vortex is saying Slitterhead as well. I'm super confused. I don't want to watch the Steven Spielberg West Side Story trailer right now. I just want to watch this trailer so I can confirm, is it Slitterhead or not? Because I'm being told I'm being given mixed information here. I'm also just curious what this whole thing is about. I swear I just watched this trailer and it's like it made me do it again. I'd really appreciate to not. There's not even a skip button. All right. Silent Hill was released. Now it's it's a really slow moving trailer. I'm done. I've lost all interest. So anyway, whatever. Slitterhead.
We won.
We'll see. Then Nightingale was shown. Got a reveal trailer. It's a new game from the BioWare boss, Aaron Flynn. Nightingale is a survival crafting game set across a shared world where you'll join up with friends to battle enemies with both magic and guns, as well as build and protect small civilizations in this bizarre world.
They mentioned multiplayer, but they did not anywhere in anything I heard them say mention PvP. And that is a very good thing, because a lot of these survival games are ruined by the fact that someone like a player is always trying to kill you just for the lulz.
No, it definitely looks like we'll be teaming up to fight some huge monsters from the trailer. This one is such a weird one because it has this really crazy horror look and feel to the monsters.
Yeah.
But yet the player characters are like this. Like it's funny. I knew immediately as soon as I saw the woman in the trailer that, oh, this must be the Nightingale's game Steven was talking about. Just because she looked like a nightingale to me. And what I mean by that is like the nightingales in history that were like the nurses that, I don't exactly remember the story, but like against the wishes of, I don't know, the higher ups, they learned to be nurses and learned medicine and wrote their own book on medicine and all kind of stuff. But anyway, they look like somebody that would have that. So it's got this very like Victorian English, like really fancy looking outfits and stuff, but then they're shooting magic and shooting guns and all kind of craziness that's happening. So it looks really good. I am excited to play it with you guys. We got a new cinematic trailer for Gollum, Lord of the Rings Gollum.
Looks awful.
I'm really torn on this game. I want to support anything Lord of the Rings, but
Not like this, Jake.
not
Not
like
like
this.
this.
It's just I don't know that it's going to be worth it.
I mean,
So
you know, I'm the biggest Lord of the Rings stan. That, well, I'm not as bad as a lot of people, but if I saw this and I was like, this was a bad idea from the start. This should not exist.
yeah. Somerville got another gameplay trailer. This is that it has a very inside Limbo. It's from the makers of Limbo. Feel I'm very curious what that's going to be like. But I don't know that there was anything super new in the trailer. So we'll move on. Cuphead Delicious Last Course finally has a freaking release date, and it's June 30th of this year. Very, very excited about this. The thing I'm maybe most excited about is that it is launching immediately on all the other platforms that Cuphead has been released on since the game came out. And that's awesome because I don't have the Xbox that I played it on originally. Wouldn't have been a major issue because I can still play it on my PC, but very exciting. Steven, I'm just telling you, I'm going to want to play this with you.
Which one?
Cuphead.
Oh God.
The delicious last course. I don't want to go through the rest of the game, but if we can play the delicious last course on its own, that's what I want to do.
Okay.
If we have to beat the game just to get to this stuff, that's probably a no from me, dog. But
Yeah.
I feel like as long as this has been, it to me seems like it's just going to be its own thing. But maybe we do have to have the rest of the game. I don't know. We'll see. But very exciting for that. Sonic Frontiers got announced. This is the Breath of the Wild Sonic game.
Stop calling it that.
I'm just telling you. This is what I'm reading off the article. It is.
That's such an assumption, though. Like, just because a game
it is being called an open world Sonic title,
right? But it's not Breath of the Wild Sonic. We don't know that yet.
Anyway,
we just saw Sonic running around hills. He's done that ever since he was born.
He's been running around hills since 1992. So anyway, no, he so he's going to Starfall Islands. Very realistic looking landscape with a still cartoonish Sonic. Curious to see more. Got to see more on that one. Warhammer Vermintide 2 got a gameplay trailer. They've added a new character called the Warrior Priest.
Yeah, it's just a new class. That's it.
Yeah. So very cool. Oh man, I forget how to say this name. Tachia.
That's what Jeremy was saying.
Good
Lord, Isabella.
This is the open world adventure where you can. I think they literally call it soul jump, but basically you can take over inanimate objects as well as animals in the world and use them for traversal and puzzle solving and all kind of stuff. So there's sailing, there's all kinds of other stuff. So I'm very excited about this game. It's very much a Jake game. We got a Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League gameplay trailer. This showed off
looks real Avengers.
Harley Quinn, moving around, King Shark, Deathstroke. It does look very Avengers.
Deadshot.
What did I say? Deathstroke.
Yeah.
Okay, now I want to fire whoever's writing this Games Radar article because they wrote Deathstroke. I'm just reading.
These people are idiots.
They're obviously idiots. Deathshot. No, what did I?
Deadshot. God dang it, Isabella.
I'm thinking of Trick Shot. Anyway, it did look very Avenger-ish, and I don't know if that's
it looks like it could be fun.
A bad thing. Yeah,
but like at the same time, the only character.
Are we gonna get more characters? Like,
I hope so because this is such a random roster. Deadshot doesn't seem like he's gonna play like Deadshot should play. Captain Boomerang seems like he's gonna be really fun. Harley Quinn seems like, why the hell are you even here? And King Shark looks like he'll be a blast too. But like, it's such a random roster.
It is a random roster. These guys are pretty. They're namestays, signals. What am I thinking of? What's the word? Standards. What's the word I'm looking for? Mainstays.
Mainstays is what you're looking for.
I don't know. Anyway, they're they're usually in the Suicide Squad roster. So, but I don't know.
But
I
how
think it'll
many
be
of those
fun.
times has that Suicide Squad needed to literally kill all of the Justice League? You know,
I don't know. I don't know if that's ever happened, but
I am very excited to play Boomerang though. He looks like he'll be a lot of fun.
Boomerang looks fun. I thought King Shark looks fun. Me personally, I kind of like Deathstroke because he can fly.
Deadshot.
So, God, Deathshot. Sorry, I'm reading. I'm still looking at this article. Yeah. So I think it could be fun. It's funny seeing the Avengers like gameplay. That's the thing that made me say, are they going to add more characters to this? So we'll see. Rocksteady has, I mean, they did the Arkham games and created a combat style that just worked for Batman. So
it's
if they
really
can nail
funny.
that with all these characters, I mean, that would be amazing. So
It's really funny seeing this though, because like it sounds like an Avengers story. How like, you know, you got this game developer that makes very renowned single player experiences, making a game that is co-op focused. With the kind of gameplay that we know from Avengers, it just seems like they may be repeating the mistakes that Marvel did. Even though I'm an Avengers fan,
right.
It's hard to deny that people are undeservingly harsh on that game, and that it was not a success.
Right. Well, we'll see. Maybe they can do it a little differently, and it be more well received. Forspoken got another gameplay trailer, and just a side note, there's also some like a 4 minutes of gameplay. It's nothing crazy. It's just a quick little clip of some combat. But holy smokes, this game looks amazing, and the spells that you're casting and like the combat looks insane, and I cannot wait
Looks very
to get my
fluid.
hands on it. It's very fluid. You can like switch on all kinds of different spells and kind of combine different spells, and it looks really, really fun. The hilarious thing that came out of that gameplay clip or whatever that they released today with some other news, one of the gear things you can change is her nails. So like her painted nails, and they give you buffs. So, you know, very fun, very exciting. Warhammer 40,000 or 40,000,
40K,
40K. Thank you. Space Marines 2 got a reveal trailer,
which that was very shocking. That was back in the Xbox 360 PS3 generation. That was a very sleeper hit third-person shooter. Space Marine 1 was.
Mm-hmm.
So Warhammer's killing it with their video games. Like that's a license that is coming out with a lot of games, and a good majority of them are very well received. Because that includes like Vermintide.
Right.
I was really hoping that we'd hear from Darktide, which is the 40K version of Vermintide. But sadly, we got Space Marines 2 instead.
Yeah. So not one for me, but excited for those that do like that.
Yeah.
Saints Row got another gameplay trailer, or well, it got a gameplay trailer. Showed off.
There's no world when this game that sees this game being good, and I'm not saying that just because. Like I loved Saints Row. Like 2 is the best one. I still enjoyed 3. Good Lord, Pitt. I enjoyed 3 and 4. 4 I actually really enjoyed. 3 was just written by an edgy 12-year-old. That's the game where you have the giant purple dildo as a weapon.
Nice.
Yeah. But this game looks like it did not learn any lessons from the other games, and it's just like trying to be Grand Theft Auto but wacky.
Yeah.
And it seems like the problem that you run into with that is that when the game doesn't have substance and it just kind of goes for that kind of shock feel, it gets old very fast. And that's what Saints Row 3, that's why it was so short lived. I feel like that's one of the best selling of the franchise.
Right.
But I feel like it's the one that people talk about the least. And
Well,
maybe
it's
I'm
funny.
wrong, but
No, I think you're right. It's funny you mention and talk about that though, because in the E3 trailer, it sounded like they were kind of regrounding themselves, saying,
yeah,
"Okay, we gotta come back down. We gotta dial it back down." But this trailer, the
yeah,
gameplay looks crazy.
yep.
So that's where I kind of said, okay, maybe I should
I
keep
mean,
an eye on this.
it'll be one of those that, like, if it's on Game Pass, great, give it a
Yeah,
shot. It'll probably be
yeah.
fun for a couple days, maybe a
I
stream,
mean,
and then it'll be
I
out.
think there's a world where I would get it and play it with you guys or with Jeremy
Well,
if he was interested. But
the fact that it had a like February release date and then they pushed it, and now it's what, August?
I forget.
August or September, something like that. That's troubling.
I mean, that's just game development right now. You know, I don't. That's not troubling to me so much as if it just had released and been bad. That would be troubling more so than them delaying. But anyway, we got to keep moving.
Yeah, I just feel like there's an identity crisis happening with that game right now.
I'm sure. Fall Guys got some Nightmare Before Christmas costumes. Very exciting. There were a couple other costumes that were in that trailer as well, but there you go. Those are out. Those are there. Dune is getting a video game. Dune Spice Wars.
It's a 4X strategy game, so like Civilization.
Yes.
So not interested.
It's like Civilization. Just crazy that the resurgence that
Dune.
IP, I guess, is getting Dune just with the new movie. There's a sequel to the movie. Now we're getting a game. Like that's just that's a lot. So that's great. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands got another trailer, brand new story trailer. It introduced a lot of the characters that are the players in the D&D campaign. So very cool.
Oh, and the playable demo that Kalen was talking about on that stream, he sent me the link, and I'm pretty sure that it's just a standalone version of the Borderlands 2 DLC that they released. That was the Bunkers and Badasses, the game that you're playing in Tiny Tina's. So I don't think it's a demo for the upcoming game. I think it's just the DLC as a standalone option from Borderlands 2.
Interesting. Okay. Among Us VR got a reveal trailer, which should be very interesting. Doki V got another trailer, and I just don't.
I hated it. I hated that one.
Well, I wish, the other one, it had some crazy music. I'm pretty sure it was the same song.
It was the same song, and it's a bit of a bop, but the video was like Kids Bop.
Can someone please clip Steven going, it's a bit of a bop? Because that was funny.
I got like major
oh my God,
chat vibes from that video, and it made me super uncomfortable.
You got what vibes?
VR chat vibes.
Oh yeah. Well, I get Biomutant vibes from it just because, and again, this trailer didn't show any gameplay. It was literally just kind of a music video, which is fine, whatever. But the gameplay just looks like here's a mix mash of everything we could possibly come up with.
It's South Korea threw up on a video game. There you go. Enjoy.
Like, there you go. Well,
it really like does feel like just a K-pop, just a K-pop experience.
I mean,
it looks fun. It looks fun.
It looks fun. Like I want to see more. It's just this was a disappointing trailer because it didn't show more. It just showed,
and it was really uncomfortable.
It was a little strange to watch. Let's see. Steel Rising got a cinematic trailer. I'm blanking a little bit on this one, but I feel like I liked it.
It was the mannequin.
Oh,
the kind of Victorian game where you play as the robot girl or whatever.
Yeah. That looked really fun. Then we got Metal Hellsinger. Now, is this the
Hellsinger,
one that
that's the one.
I
That's
was
the
gonna say? Is
one.
this the one that it looks like Doom, but it's like Doom to the beat?
Yeah, it's literally BPM, but not. And I'm kind of shocked if there's not. If the BPM people weren't involved, there should probably be a lawsuit because it looks like it's just straight up BPM.
The same
But
idea.
yeah, because even like the thing, like the beat coming in, the exact they literally just copy and pasted that from BPM. The same image and everything.
Got it. Let's see. Star Trek Resurgence got a reveal trailer. This is from the former Telltale developers. It's coming in spring of 2022. You don the uniform of First Officer Jara Rydek and Engineer Carter Diaz as you unravel a mystery before a war breaks out. So there you go. If you're a Star Trek fan, Rumbleverse got a gameplay trailer. I don't remember watching this. It's a 40-player melee focused battle royale that's coming in February.
It's the next Fortnite attempt because it's like you're in a city and you're just fighting everybody. And it looks like it's the same like cutscene style of Fortnite. It's got that very cheap Epic Games look to it, you know?
Yeah. There's moving on. There's another Plague Tale Requiem gameplay reveal. I just got to say, I love, and maybe it's just because I am looking out for a Plague Tale stuff, but I feel like a Plague Tale sequel is getting so much more love and attention than its original did. And that's just so great to me because that was a great game. I really, really enjoyed that one. But funnily enough, I don't remember this trailer. I don't know if I watched it when I was like way too exhausted. And I just was like, Plague Tale, I love it. Great. But I don't remember much of it, but I'm very excited for this one. Yeah, whatever this website I'm watching, they just
suck.
show way too many ads before they show the trailer that I'm trying to watch. So, anyway, all right, moving on. So, Plague Tale gonna be great. Dying Light Stayed Human had a new trailer that was kind of playing off that Dead Island trailer.
I think
where
that
it was like.
I think that was probably a coincidence, but I had the same thought.
I don't think it was the exact premise, but where like you were watching the scene unfold from the beginning and the end, going backwards or forwards, depending on where the scene happened to be. But it was kind of playing off that theme, so it was very, very interesting. But anyway,
I was bothered by it because they were like, "Oh, here's a new trailer. It'll tell you more about the story," and I could not tell you.
It really didn't.
It told me nothing
much. Yeah, it was weird. But there you go. I'm trying to go through these fast now. Crossfire X got a release date.
Heck yes. I'm so excited for that because Remedy did the campaign for that game.
Yes. Yeah. Very excited.
So I'm
February
very excited.
10th. February. I'm just telling you, February of 2022
it's stacked.
Freaking packed right now. It's wild. Blood Hunt got a new trailer. Don't care about that. BR Vampires. GTFO. Its 1.0 trailer was shown, and then it was announced that it was out right now. So, Steven, you
we are going to play some GTFO.
Steven is ready to play that again. So
I've had it ever since the early access launched. Luigi is kicking my butt. I've never played Incineroar before, and I hate him, so I'm not going to do this either. Yeah, GTFO. I've had it since it launched, but I played like one match and then just didn't play again because I didn't have anybody to play with. So I picked it. I re-downloaded it. My brother got it. One of his friends got it. Jeremy has it. So we're gonna do a GTFO stream. And Jake, if you buy it, you need to be part of it because it's going to be an experience.
I need to get it. I need to get it to be a part of it for sure. So
I will not play Bayonetta. I'm quitting immediately.
Steven has switched to Super Smash Brothers for audio listeners there. Yeah. So just that's where that's coming from. We then got to see a glimpse at the Halo TV show. Doesn't look bad. I don't know much about Halo. So I really am not the expert to say here, but like I could watch I might would watch it. I'd have to
Did
see a little bit
Master
more.
Chief look weird to you? Like, or is it like
He
my question was
he didn't look weird, but like it looked like a cosplay that I've seen before.
yes.
A
That's
really, really good
a good
cosplay, but a
good
cosplay.
God, stop giving me these awful characters. But yeah, that's the vibe I got, was that I couldn't tell if it looked like cosplay or if I've just been desensitized by all of the Master Chief cosplay that I've seen.
Well, and I mean that's the thing too, right? Like cosplay has just hit a new level, right? There are some really good cosplayers out there now.
You got that
And
forklift costume from the Halloween costume episode.
right,
That's some good
absolutely,
cosplay.
yeah. So I think I almost think it's more a testament to cosplay than it is an insult to this show's costume director or anything, but just I don't know. It didn't look like the movie. You know what I mean? Like what the TV show should be. So anyway, but I'm excited. I want to learn more. Elden Ring got a story trailer.
Are you forgetting someone though?
Oh, our pot friend.
His pot friend.
Pot friend came out and told us that, hey, we got this new trailer to show you, and it was very exciting. And unfortunately, he had to be escorted off the premises.
That was so funny. Oh my God.
They could. I am assuming they could not roll him past a set of stairs, and so some guys just picked him up and carried him out. That was a great clip. I wish I had that clip on standby. It's on Twitter. It's out there. Go look. Pot friend being escorted out of the Game Awards. But yeah, that was I am more and more curious about Elden Ring. I don't think I would like it, but the more I see, the more I wish I would like it. But anyway, if you're excited for that, there's that. We got another trailer for Synced Off Planet. This is the only BR that I've ever seen that interests Steven.
Yep.
Is a companion shooter. You have these nanos that summon that basically give you a summon to use in the combat. Very exciting. I'm honestly curious if Steven's going to like this. So I guess I'm going to have to pick it up.
If there's more to it than just a BR mode, and it's going to be free to play, I'm pretty sure. But if there's more to it than just a BR mode, then I'm interested. Because that's a really cool concept of having your like wingman ally and having to strategize, basically controlling two characters at once. I always like that kind of gameplay gimmick.
Right. Next we got Arc Riders and
Arc Raiders.
I can't think of what this game.
This was the game.
Like, it has some really great style going on.
It was the third-person shooter where they were fighting giant mechs as a team.
Yes.
I am so excited for this one. It will be free to play as well.
Yeah,
which worries
very
me,
exciting.
But
very exciting. Well, free to play should always worry you a little bit, but sometimes it's not as bad. We got the Keanu Reeves and Carrie Ann Moss came out and talked about the Matrix Awakens. I'm sorry, the Matrix Resurrection. No, here it is. They talked about Matrix Resurrection and showed the Matrix Awaken, which is the Unreal Engine 5 experience that you can play on PS5 and Xbox Series X. I have not tried it yet. I've heard a lot of good things from it. Obviously, it's a glorified demo, but it's really just supposed to show off the Unreal 5 engine and whatnot. So I need to give it a try. But anyway, that's it as far as announcements and trailers so far as this article. And not that I trust this article anymore, but Steven, I don't think there were any that stand out in my mind that I missed. Is there anything?
No, I think that's it.
Coming to your brain. Great. Well, anyway, overall, I thought this wasn't fine. Like the most hype, Game Awards that I've ever seen.
It wasn't great. If they didn't have Alan Wake, it would have been a huge disappointment.
We'll see, but I mean, but then you go back and I mean, even just now, we just spent almost another 45 minutes talking just about announcements.
But that was mostly me complaining.
Was it? See, I feel like we stopped to talk about, oh, I'm excited for this, or oh, I want to see more about this. Like, I mean, Planet Lana, the Star Wars Eclipse. I mean, there were a lot of really good. I mean, Wonder Woman. There were a lot of really good surprises and things that I think there were a lot of things that there was something for everyone to be excited about, which again, kind of circling back to what I said earlier of, I wish the Game Awards would become more of a, let's as a community come together and get really excited about what we played this year, but also look forward to what's coming. And like you said, Stephen, of like, why don't we start just introducing games to people who maybe don't play all the shooter games? They'll see the best five and kind of get to know, oh, I haven't heard of this one. Maybe I should check that out. Um, I feel like with awards this year, at least, while there wasn't just a crazy one that absolutely everyone got excited about, but I feel like there was at least one or two that a group or a segment of the community got excited
Right.
about for themselves. You know what I mean? So, for me, it's Eclipse, it's Planet of Lana, it's Wonder Woman. I had quite a few that I'm excited to see more of. But anyway, but yeah, any closing thoughts on the Game Awards, Steven?
No, nothing that I haven't already said.
There you go.
I enjoy the announcements. Jeff Keighley is the most corrupt pope I've ever known. That's all.
That is all. Well, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be the end of our podcast. Of course, this has been Chortlecast, the official podcast of Chortle Games, where we talk about video games, TV shows, movies, anime, whatever the heck we want to talk about. We do this show live every Monday night on youtube.com/Chortle Games or chortlegames.com, I think is actually a better URL for you there to get to the YouTube channel. We're also on Facebook and Twitter, both at Chortle Games, live streaming on those platforms, not just on them. We're on them, but we're also live streaming there right now. And then, of course, on Twitch, twitch.tv/Chortle_games. So you can watch us wherever you like, however you like. But the podcast airs every Monday night. So you can go there. Of course, there's also podcasts. I forgot that. We are on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So if you're an audio listener, prefer to listen to us in an audio format, you always have that as your fallback. So anyway, with that, we're leaving you with an almost 2-hour episode. We will be live streaming throughout the week. We typically live stream on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays.
But a Thursday live stream isn't going to happen for me. And I'm wondering if it's going to happen for you. Spider-Man comes out.
Well, it's definitely not going to happen for me because I have this thing called a baby. So I will not be going to see Spider-Man. And actually, just to bring it back to the top of the show, I may just shut off my phone
I would suggest it.
Come Thursday night because I'm not going to be able to go to the movie until Saturday. So
will you be streaming Thursday?
I probably can.
Okay.
That might be a great time for me to do something solo. So maybe some Destiny. I tried to play Destiny tonight, and I've just sat here. I've sat at this screen.
That's why I swapped
2.5 hours
because I could not talk and pay attention to Monster Hunter Rise or stories effectively. Yeah. So, but my showing is at like 7:30, so I won't be able to join for a stream on Thursday. But I'll keep spoilers to a nothing. I will not spoil
to a nothing. Very great, very great. But anyway, I'll try to do that. But what I was going to say is, usually we do Thursday, Fridays, and Saturdays. We're entering into the holiday seasons. We're about to be into Christmas here in America, and so we just schedules are all over the place right now. And actually, schedules are all over the place. Obviously, I have a newborn, so there's a lot of things I'm navigating constantly with how their schedule needs to operate and change. So we will still attempt to do our normal Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But obviously things are just crazy right now because of Goodman.
I will be gone for 10 days starting December 29th.
Yeah.
And then that following weekend that I get back, I will be very busy. So there will be a time for like 2 weeks where you guys won't hear from me very much, but fear not.
Well, and we typically take the Christmas week off. So we will probably do something similar to that. Maybe a little bit adjusted since Steven is going to be leaving after Christmas, but we might get in an earlier last stream, or no, I'm sorry, a later last stream.
Yeah, there you
go. But anyway, you know what I mean. But anyway, stuff's crazy, so we'll try to stick to that schedule as long as we can, as best we can. But if we for some reason miss, it is just holiday craziness. The other thing I'm trying to get to is we are this week doing our Sentinels of the Multiverse campaign live
Yes.
stream on Wednesday night. So if you've been following along with that or are interested in that at all, of course, tune in then and follow along with us. It's been a long campaign so far, and we got a long way to go, so it should be a lot of fun. And that, I think, is officially it for tonight's show. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking with us. We will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.